we're going to move to the workplace and business costs, and I'm going to ask Sherry Baker to, if you could go ahead, we had switched, and I was going to, but if you would speak while I see what I can do with our computer here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow. Really wish I'd gone first. And then I was initially going to follow Dr. Dave Howard too. So I first of all want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here and to get to speak. I also want to say thank you to the ones that have spoken before me, and thank you so much for the work that you do. It's incredible. My name is Sherry Baker, and I am a counselor with Dyersburg State Community College. Prior to that, I spent 10 years in residential treatment, adolescents, 12 to 18 only. And prior to that, I did a lot of in-home services, providing services. So I got to actually hand-on-hand, one-on-one with families. I was totally astonished at the cost, like the ones that went before me. Never thought about it. Never once did I think, wow, what is it costing for this person to go to the ER when they do decide to, on and on down the line. Another thing I remember, can't remember which one of you brought it up, actually I think it was our DCS person, about making sure that perpetrators and abusers are paying for what they do in some sort. And one of the statistics that I found talks about we spend, Tennessee alone, and I know this was probably 2006, 2007, $15 million per year in prison. 15 million, and I'm sure that's at least doubled by now. Absolutely astonishing. In reference to the DCS, because I'm so used to working with children and families also, $5,000 at a minimum to place a child in state custody. Basic. For basic testing, I mean, that's and look at the number that it potentially happens. I have provided those services that she was talking about earlier with supervised visits. I've sat there with them and thinking, oh my goodness, I know this is our goal. When's it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? So again, thank you for the work that you do. It's a huge need for it. I want to go from the standpoint, and please let me know about my time too, I will get crazy. Okay. I want to go to the standpoint financially and how education is a factor, and just want to run through real quickly 5 calls in the spring semester alone with students that could not return to class, could not take a test, they're locked in their home, their car's been torn up, their clothes have been hidden, their shoes are gone all of a sudden, they cannot get to class to take a final. They've made it all the way through the semester. We've got finals coming up. I get a call from this lady I've been working with quite a bit, and I get frustrated. If anger is a motivator, I'm going to start using it a little more often. And I'm going to start paying just a little closer attention to the things that are actually going on, that are being said but not being said, if that makes sense. So she calls me and she's telling me she has no money to get to school. She's in Martin actually and trying to get to Dyersburg State, in Dyersburg. Crying. I mean, just sobbing on the phone. She leaves me a voicemail and I can't get back to her quick enough. So I finally get her on the phone after she's left number after number, and now I get that. Her husband destroyed her laptop, took her flash drive, broke it up, thousands of little pieces right in front of her, and said, "You're not going back." This was this woman's safe haven. This was her getaway. This was what she was doing for herself. I said, "Well, I tell you what, we'll figure that out if you can just get here. We'll figure that part of it out." Okay, then I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow. 2 or 3 days goes by. 2 or 3 days go by, and I'm calling her. I ended up actually calling the Martin Police Department to go by and check on her because I had not heard from her. So she calls me back sometime after that, and she said, "Okay, he's taken all the money out of the bank," which was her student loan money. So when you look at an economic impact, so many areas, so many ways that it can be affected. So all of her money that she had gotten for either that semester and maybe what she may have had a little bit left over, it was gone. So now she has no money, no gas. Really wouldn't matter anyway after we put sugar in her gas tank and did something underneath the hood of the car, she said. And then cutting her clothes up. I mean, it just the insanity of that. And I so want to, I want to thank you that how inspirational are you? And I thank you for what you put out there. And I wish that at some point we as a community, as women and men who care about other people, get these people that I'm talking about to hear you, to hear someone like you, and how beautiful a woman you are, that you put this out there to help others. And I appreciate that greatly. The same stat, Tennessee being number 3, can we not be top in something good? Where is education? Where is, something, just something good? No, we're number 3 with reports of domestic violence. Several different things I found talked about it was 1 in 4 women or children that have been abused. We've graduated to 1 in 3 now. So obviously it's a problem that continues to worsen rather than improve. I strongly feel we can empower women, period, but we can empower women through education. And I understand that there is no bias. The domestic violence, the sexual assaults, everything, it's happening in every country, every city, every socioeconomic community. It does not matter. But if you give yourself that chance, and which is what one of my students was trying to do, and I sure hope that somehow we get back in contact and we can help her get back into class. That's what she was trying to do. So not only now is she responsible for the financial aid money she had used, because it was right up until the end of the semester that he's taken and she doesn't have, she will still be responsible in paying that money back. And although I know educationally she got something out of it, she did not get what her goal was out of it. So he has stopped that. When I look at future financial issues, that's holding her back still has the rein, just kind of pulling it until she can figure out a way to get away from it, have that confidence. The mayor earlier was talking about that self-esteem. Oh my goodness, does it not go a long way when we've got confidence and self-esteem. People losing jobs. There's so many aspects that have been brought up, and it's it's way past time to take a stand. And again, when I talk about anger being a motivator, and I'm looking through and I'm researching through this, and it's 2013. And we're talking about how to treat women, how to treat people in general. That's paramount. I mean, that's really something that we strongly need to take a good look at. I've looked at insurance costs. Don't exactly have a number or amount just yet, but I'm sure I could find one. But just billions of dollars that it's costing us more and more on premiums, because there are so many people being treated, which is a good thing. At least they're going, so hopefully it's getting reported and the awareness is getting out there. Another mention with the student, mental health is my degree, mental health counseling, and worked with this student through numerous issues that she already had. It's kind of see how it just all kind of starts coming together now that we think about it. He took her meds and off the top, right in front of her, dumps them down in the toilet and flushes them. So there's a cost. You're looking at prescriptions and going back to the doctor. Then you've got to explain all that what's happened. Are they believing you? They ever take a second and ask? This was one thing I found in my research when we're at the doctor. They ever take a second, just put that on the little questionnaire that you fill out when you go. Any domestic abuse? If you don't want to put it on the form, could we just ask it when we get in there with our doctor? Sometimes if we're asked things, we're more apt to put it out there rather than just, oh yeah, by the way. So sorry. Thank you so much, and it has been a privilege and an honor, and I appreciate everyone that has come to do this. Thank you.
I know that particularly on a college campuses, a college campus, there are maybe unique issues, but I was wondering, you are a counselor with Dyersburg State.
Yes.
Do you know if they do educational programs for women that involve education about abuse or maybe rape or date rape or?
We do actually. That's a requirement for us to do. Whether it's once a year or once a semester, I'm not totally sure of that, but I know at least once a year it has to be done. Violence against women, rape assistance, putting all that information out there.
Plus, it's also on the website, somewhere we can go in and there's just a little informational thing that you can look at too.
So there would be a cost associated with that maybe the university can provide to us.
Right.
Thank you. And also, I was wondering, you were talking about various things that had cost to them. I was clicking them off as you were going through it. And I wonder if I know it's not easy, but is there any way you could put an estimate to some of those costs, like the student loan money and the other things that she told you about that you could do?
I would say, and Ms. Julie may can help me more with that, at least, what, $5,000 easily, just with the educational aspect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I've also heard GED instructors talk about the same issues that you talked about with the college, that women often drop down to GED programs, which are also state funded. So there's another loss, I think, that's associated with that.
Thank you, Sherry. I really wanted, I guess I'm biased because I'm in higher education, but I really wanted to get a higher education perspective, because higher ed is where women go to get out, to find a better way. And it seems, and that's been my experience too, I teach online students a lot, and they are women who have children at home and they maybe don't have access to education otherwise. And I've had two instances as they came toward graduation, they were mysteriously dropping out or mysteriously not performing at the level that they used to. And as they got closer to graduation, their spouse or boyfriend saw them getting a way out, and they would sabotage them as she was talking. And that's not uncommon. And I don't think we do a good job in higher ed looking at that really from a behavioral perspective or from a cost perspective. So that's something that prepares those women for the workplace. That prepares them to be contributing members to be able to be independent. And so that's definitely something that we need to look at in terms of the cost. So I appreciate your perspective on that.